God sent Moses to Egypt with one message for Pharaoh. Let my people go so they may, tell me, worship me. Even the devil understands the importance of worship. The devil tempted Jesus by saying, all the kingdoms of the world I will give to you if you will only do one thing, bow down and worship me. So there is something about worship that gets the attention of the supernatural realm. So we ask another question this morning. Where does worship start? Point number one, and I have 7 points today. Worship starts with your heart. Worship starts with your heart. In Matthew chapter 15, verse 8 to 9, we find a very troubling passage. Matthew 15, verse 8 to 9 says, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. Let's take another look at that passage, because Jesus outlined a problem the church at the time was facing. The verse says, these people honor me with their lips. That is lip service. We could be singing great songs. We could be raising our hands. We could be jumping, dancing. And Jesus is saying, they honor me with their lips. But their hearts are far from me. Look at the next few lines, the next few words. They worship me in vain. So Jesus was saying about these people, they're literally wasting their time in worship. Why? Because their hearts were far from him. You see, folks, we could be singing a great song of worship and have unforgiveness in our hearts. God rejects that kind of worship. We could be singing about worship and having unholy thoughts, and God is saying, I am not going to accept that kind of worship. You know, in the Old Testament, God sent Samuel to anoint a new king. And Samuel gets there and he sees Eliab. And I am sure Samuel must have been saying, wow, God, this was easy. The new king stands right here. But God said, no, he is not the one. I am sure Samuel must have been saying, God, I am puzzled. You sent me on this journey. I get here, and this guy looks the part. And you are telling me he is not the one? God, you have to give me more information. And God did. God answers Samuel's question in 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. 1 Samuel 16, verse 7 says, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. How is your heart this morning? If we are truly going to worship God, if we're truly going to become the God kind of worshiper, we focus on our heart. And that is why David prayed this prayer in Psalm 139, verses 23 to 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. I am going to go a step further than David did. Before I'm going to pray David's prayer, here's what I am going to do. I am going to self-report. You need to self-report too. Here's what I mean by that. I am going to come into God's presence and I'm going to say, God, I am here to confess up front that there are some things within me not pleasing to you. There are some things in my life, in my heart, God, I am just going to tell you right up front, you don't like. So I'm asking you, God, to clean me up, to help me so that I can become the God kind of worshiper. Once I pray that prayer, then I'm going to pray, God, search me I know my heart. Why? Because, God, there could be some things in my life I don't even know are there that are displeasing to you. And I want you, God, to clean me up so that, Lord, I can give you the kind of worship that you desire. Make sure your heart is right before God.